All right, so I got to turn on recording. Hi to anyone who's watching this. If you're watching this, I assume you have seen pretty much the rest of our run of Blades in the Dark, because this is the finale session. So I'm not gonna repeat whatever spiel I've been doing for the past 10 sessions. Jesus Christ. Rest assured, if anyone who's watching this who jumped ahead, I would advise for folks to go back and watch. They're all pretty standalone, except it's a proper comic book thing where there's an ongoing arc. But this is kind of like the big finale. We're gonna wrap this up. Everyone knows everyone. We know these heroes. Ooh, that's a great title. Yes, thanks, Will. The Nightingale sings. This is perfect. All right, cool. But the briefest thing is, as always, this game is arranged through the Gauntlet, which, if you don't know, if you've been watching, I'll reiterate again. The Gauntlet is a community on the internet that gets together and plays tabletop role-playing games online. You can find them at gauntlet-rpg.com, where we do all sorts of cool stuff revolving around indie tabletop role-playing games. Check it out. There's blogs, there's forums, there's podcasts, there's I dropped some dice. Sadly, we don't sell dice. Nor do we use physical dice that much often because we play online. How do we play online? Through the Hangouts calendar, to which this game was arranged. Blades in the Dark by John Harper, using the Vigilantes playset by Sean Nittner. Okay, so last session, team finished up a job, beat up some bad guys. Some of the bad guys got very inconclusive ends, but they've got the hints that something big is gonna be afoot. Something big is about to be sprung upon Duskwall. But I know I kind of ran through my spiel, but there is like a bit that I do want to zoom into, which is the safety tools that we're using, because they're always important to shout out. First and foremost, do want to direct folks to the Lines and Veils handout. It's on the Roll20. It's down at the bottom. For those who don't know, lines and things. Sorry, my mind went one place. Lines are things that won't be crossed, just won't show up in the fiction at all. Veils are things that can happen in fiction, but we're not gonna concentrate on them. Like, it happens off screen, or gets a sentence or two. And so I'll just ask folks to have one more look through our lines and veils. Again, this is a living document, so if you don't think of anything right now that suddenly comes up in your mind, like, oh, I don't want to have to deal with this, they can be updated for sure. But for now, I ask you folks to look through them, and then if you're okay with them, just say okay in our Zoom chat. Okay, all right. So the other thing I want to mention is the other safety tool we're using called Script Change, which is basically it's a set of commands and tools that does modulate the fiction when we need to. I'll just mention the three main important ones that we're using. The first one is rewind, which is when you call for rewind, you back up to a specific point in a scene and do the scene over again, avoiding whatever issue led to the rewind and trying a different way. And the issue could be anything. It could be like a name that an NPC has, or even the tone of the scene itself, or even the scene itself in general. You can flag that, say you want to rewind, and you don't have to explain why. I might ask some questions on what we're trying to avoid, but if anyone calls for a rewind, we respect that. We'll go back and try something else. The other command is fast forward, which is when you call for a fast forward, you fade to black. And advance time is needed to avoid content elements of play. So basically, if there comes a point where it's kind of like the Veils thing, where if it comes to a point where we don't need to linger on this, we don't need to see this, we'll just fast forward and move on to the next bit. And then last but not least, there's pause, which is you call for a pause if you need a break, and you can call for a break for a variety of reasons. It's part of the open door policy that we have here on this table. You call for a pause if you say you need a bio break, like you need to step away from the table. Maybe there's an emergency you need to take care of, or you're more tired than you thought. You need to step away, and call for a pause, and accommodate yourselves. You can also pause if the scene is getting intense, like, oh boy, let's all kind of like step back a bit and see where we are. Or if you're seeking clarity or discussion about the game or content, like, a lot of info kind of gets processed in and out when you play tabletop role-playing games. So it's perfectly fine to call for a pause and just like, yeah, why are we on a Zeppelin? Why is this happening? How did we get here? Or what? Yeah, why is there a giant Leviathan assaulting the docks? How did they get here? How did they get past the ghost shield? Why is there like a ghost ship coming from the Deathlands smashing into the... sorry, I'm just teasing a lot of stuff that might or might not happen.
I have to ask Landra, why are we not doing any of those things?
Why aren't we? Yeah,
Yeah.
why aren't we? Why aren't we? That's a dereliction of duty. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's one of the ways you can call for a pause. Like, pause. Why have we just been beating up people in the streets? Why are we getting to, like, gang brawls in pubs? Why can't the pub be on a Zeppelin or in a hot air balloon?
Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
All right, but yeah. So
this is a valid question, though. Why aren't we in a pub on a Zeppelin?
I don't know. We'll talk about that in the debrief. There are probably reasons for that, honestly. Okay, so we just got into downtime last session, and yeah, well, I'm just gonna open up for your characters to do downtime, but I do want to ask for one of your downtime activities if I could ask you to add a detail of your characters noticing or following up on this plot by the Nightingale. And you can come up with any detail that you think your characters will find out. Like the broad strokes is that the Nightingale, who is this mysterious criminal mastermind that you've been pursuing since this, some folks have been pursuing since the very start of this entire gosh darn quarterly, had been moving in and basically supplying criminal gangs lots of different ghost-related stuff, like demon snuff, or mostly giant robot hulls powered by ghosts. And now these ghost boxes, which now you found out last session was that they were getting help from Lord Skurlock with a lot of that stuff. He's been lending the Nightingale the magical know-how. Of course, some of y'all have been investigating who the Nightingale is. But downtime's downtime. It's always like sacrosanct in a way. So yeah. Oh yeah, speaking of your date, Dr. Ravenglass, you get a reply? You get a letter back? It's delivered to your study, obviously, because you've got a public space, and it just says, "My dear Dr. Ravenglass, as flattered as I am by your quite enticing invitation, I do agree that our discussions could be best conducted in private rather than a public forum for the world to sneer at. I'm afraid current events will leave me a bit occupied. Although, I wonder if they'll keep you occupied as well if you've been doing your job. Ravens here in Duskwall are quite unsettled, aren't they? But then again, I've always found ravens to be quite gaudy and obvious. I've found it's the smaller, quieter, more wistful birds that you need to look out for. I suppose you'll be busy as well in the coming days. Good luck. If you do make it out of this with some bit of your quote unquote intellect intact, I'll be happy to chat. just rest assured that I'll be rooting for you all the way. Yours, Lord, 5 names. Skurlock is somewhere in the middle. The third. So I'm just heading that off because I know we got a lot. But if you do want to get that date, you can.
No,
say,
it's fine. It's totally okay if he writes me a snarky letter. I have that now, and if I survive, maybe we can do that in the epilogue.
Yeah. I just wanted to like head that off. But yeah. So he's basically taunting y'all. That yeah, get your arses moving. But yeah, so downtime as always. Everyone has 2 downtime activities. You can spend rep to get another one. That's the vigilante equivalent of spending coin to get another one. Remember that one of your crew abilities is to spend 1 rep and have one of your contacts or cohorts, take a downtime action to reduce heat, acquire an asset, or recover, which is good. And also, go ahead.
With that in mind, so we have an advance left over.
Yes, you do.
And just for the sort of vague idea that we might be in the long term, I feel like we've got the best of the vigilante playbook moves, like the ones that are the coolest. And we could get Hartley, the surgeon who patched up the big one, the tough one, sorry, not the big one, and Dr. Raven. And then we would not have to, in the future, if we were to play this again, I think every crew needs to get themselves a healer in Blades because it's a real pain in the ass to heal yourself otherwise.
Yeah, I like that. I like Dr. Hartley as well, so I would support it.
So if we could add Dr. Hartley as an
expert. Yes.
And Dr. Hartley, I will write in my notes, is the friend of Dr. Ravenglass who patched up, but I think he's also, way back when I said that Redcoat, like the flashback was like when he was badly wounded in something that went horribly wrong. I think that Dr. Hartley turns out to be one of the only people who knows Redcoat's identity because he stitched him back together in that first bloody brutal night kind of thing.
Nice. I'll add him along. Hold on. I realize Stripey is on this, but they don't need to be because they're on the cat's sheet. But yeah, Dr. Hartley, they are an expert. They are, let's see, what type would they be? They are technically a crafter because they're a physiker. So when you create an expert, give them 1 or 2 edges and equal number of flaws. Again, the edges are subtle, which they're easily overlooked or disregarded. They're independent, which they can be trusted to make good decisions and act on their own initiative. They can be loyal, which they can't be bribed or turned against you, or they can be tenacious, which they won't be deterred from any task.
Subtle?
Kind of like subtle.
Subtle.
Because we're ostentatious enough. And if our healer is subtle, that's probably for the better.
And you don't have to take you don't have to have them take a second edge, but they will take an equal number of flaws. So the other flaws are principled. They have an ethic or value they won't betray. Threatened. They have troubles of their own from the law, rivals, or anything else. Unreliable. They're not always available due to other obligations. Stupefaction from their vices. That's a great word, stupefaction. I'm going to enter it into my vocabulary. And the last one is vindictive. They have their own dark agenda. Maybe they're principled.
Principled's the easy one, isn't it? I kind of like maybe unreliable.
They're in demand. They're busy.
Yeah, I think just because we had principled as Lucia Fox's.
Yeah, we should have something else. And unreliable is fine because maybe the poor doctor is someone who likes his laudanum a bit too well.
Yeah,
maybe. Okay, that's your advance taken care of. So we got Dr. Hartley in case anyone wants to recover.
Well, and plus he can do that downtime action.
Yes. Okay. So speaking of downtime actions, what are y'all doing? The list is there on the. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. So I would like to initially. I would like to indulge my vice and do my vice of obligation with Hella, my rookie. And Hella has been chewed out because she's brought a report against Lord Skurlock, who she saw fleeing down the canal in the Lord Skurlock's private boat. She's being dressed down by the local squad captain about how you don't bother the nobles and don't poke your nose where Skurlock is, like you bringing trouble down on me. So she's trying to do a job, and so I'll indulge my vice. I don't get any bonus dice. Oh, that's the 6, which is more than my.
Dear.
So we gain some heat.
Oh, no.
Well, no, you get a choice.
Okay.
Or you can choose to get heat, I suppose.
Yeah. What are we indulging in? Sorry.
Okay. I know one of them you're not going to choose, which is lose your character for a few weeks. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I'll just roll a different character now.
Yeah. You can brag about your exploits. That's the +2 heat. Which it could happen in this context of Hela being chewed out. Or you could be tapped, which is your current purveyor cuts you off. You have to find a new source for your vice. Or you can attract trouble, which is an additional entanglement.
You know what? I will. If the current purveyor is cut off, that means I would have to probably work on getting them back, wouldn't it?
Maybe Hela gets reassigned away from you.
I think Hela gets. You know what? Let's finish. Hela gets arrested. Suspicion of being involved in Captain Grace's murder.
Oh, that's gotta sting. Given she wasn't even anywhere near that boat.
But she's a fall guy. This is just more evidence of corruption within there. But she is a useful patsy to distract from.
Do you try to get a message to her at some point? I think were you just there as she was being led away?
I think she was there, and it was like a kind of like she was desperate, and Solomon was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then like they had the papers, they had everything, and it was just like, be strong kind of thing, and then she was led away.
Okay. Okay. Well, you clear all your stress, so that's good at least. Oh bother. Okay.
Best
cool.
thing about Vigilantes is you get to frame that as being heroic.
Don't worry. Maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens. Actually, I asked if to add a detail, but I'll come back to you for that for your second downtime action. I'll move on to another person. Emerson, Alec, or Silas, want to do downtime action or so?
Well, I could relieve some stress.
I recommend you should.
I should. I really should. I think I'll go to the Ghost Theater, and this time, you know what? I want to act myself. Because, come on, I can throw lightning now, and that's gonna be quite a show, right? It has to. Let's see how.
Yeah. Oh, I will say I just noticed you took a 4th dot in a tune. Getting a 4th dot needs a crew upgrade. Oh dear. The internet
Probably run on theater or something. Okay, I didn't know that. Then I will.
Sorry, you froze up there for a moment, and then everything sped up. The internet is not respecting your last week wish. Thanks, internet. But yeah, did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I can't have a tune of 4 unless I have a crew update. And I said I will then take the point and put it somewhere else.
Okay, but you want to act in your ghost theater? What does that look like?
Yeah, that looks. Let me first roll, and then I'll tell you what it looks like. Yeah, because if I tell you that it goes well and then I don't recover any stress, it would be weird. So I'll roll just indulge vice.
Yes.
Oh, that's kind of a hard combination today.
Nice thing. So you roll 2 dice. Since all your categories have 2 action ratings.
So I should have. I don't have bonus dice, right? Oh,
Nope.
for the 4.
4. Yeah, 4. 4's good.
Yeah, that's okay. 4 is good. I am content, and that means that I will dazzle the spirits of this spirit theater with my retellings of the heroics that the Twilight Patrol was party to, and how strongly I discouraged evildoers from doing evil, apparently, and in the end I will then show them off how I can throw lightning now, and in the final scene. I mean, it's I think it's kind of a play, but I kind of overdo it on the I'm the hero here stuff. But I mean, that is Silas, right? He's kind of in his element. And if there was any living person here who knew the Raven Doctor, they would see where the whole, hey, I'm the great Raven Doctor, haha, comes from. He's a thespian.
Ooh. I'm gonna add that you get some info as you like hang out with these ghosts. And Ansa, the theater owner, who this is the only time we'll see them, will mention that like a lot of ghosts have been hanging out at theater. Ghosts that like don't normally new ghosts, as in not new ghosts as in someone has died recently because spirit guards do their job, but like ghosts from other parts of the city. They've been coming here as if like they're trying to avoid certain places in the city. There's some agitation in the ghost community, so to speak. I think Silas will get that. Okay, what about Alec or Amerson? I know Alec has their Pissing Alley project, and Amerson has a buttload of stress.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Kalum.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so I first off, just to try to tilt the balance in my favor a little bit, I'm gonna fill up this prowess track and take a point of skirmish.
Is that training?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, well, I guess you can give me like a brief image of what that looks like, because I know I can't help it. I need to see. You can't just say I train and I put a point. No.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. And I think if the tough one is okay, I feel like the tough one probably like initiates this training against Amison's will, and it's mostly Amison like dodging the tough one's punches as they try to flee. And the tough one just be thinking that like this is just a joke I'm saying, like I'm joking about not wanting to fight.
A fight is good. You train. It's not real fight with me. It's training.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We're not gonna fight. And I grab you and I do a big projection. That's no fight. That's training.
Yeah.
All right. So you finally got it done in skirmish. Hell yeah. Alec, what's your downtime action?
Well, I guess towards the end of the training, maybe if Silas allows it, I give her, her.
Who is it?
Silas.
Him.
So I gave him. I asked him to meet me where we were training. Do you mind?
Wait, were you training with Silas?
No, I was training with Amazon.
Oh, you want Silas to come?
Yeah. I want to take Silas somewhere.
Okay.
So, Silas, I'm with you, and if you allow me, as both civilian, I take you down Brook Street, and at the end of Brook Street, I turn left. Say, I need your help with something. Would you mind helping me?
I would not. Of course not.
We're walking, we're turning left at the end of Brook Street. We enter Pissing Alley, and I think you're smart. You're scientist, right?
Yes, I am.
well, look, I got this. And since you're a scientist, I thought you could help me sell that. And he waves towards, and there's a couple pugilists. There's Marlene who's there. They're helping load on a cart a couple very large barrels who are very clearly filled with piss. So, I've been told. My son is coughing. I've been told this is good for Tanner. This is good for dye. This is even good for gunpowder. So I got this. This is prime quality piss. I'd like you to help me sell it.
That is an interesting proposal, my dear. What was your name again? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Alec.
Alec. My dear Alec, that is a very interesting proposal.
I want to start business, stable business, selling this piece to tanners, people working with leather or gunpowder. But I don't have contact or business acumen.
Yes, I understand. I am of the belief that usually they would use horse's piss, but this is not an invalid business opportunity, I believe. Can we step away from here just a tiny bit? Because while I like the opportunity and I like the trust that you show me, I do not like the smell.
Wait. You're working in puddle piss. You don't want to work in...
No, I do not want to do that. Indeed. Yes, I have... I think I might have a cousin who can help us here.
You got cousin who likes piss? Would
no,
buy piss?
No, I have a cousin who likes business, though.
Oh, good.
I will have to talk to him, and then he will have to talk to other people. But I believe, yes, I will help you do this and get this business on its wheels, and not be swindled by people who talk faster than you can follow.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm very thankful you would help me start my business. Or should I say my business?
Yes, that is a pun which is quite funny.
Okay, I'm gonna head this scene off before I explode. What action are you rolling to complete this project? And you can get a +1 die because an ally of yours, the Raven Doctor, is helping.
Consort, I guess.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. You're engaging the community that you helping out.
Is it
so that's
risky to sell piss?
No, it's a fortune roll because it's a downtime action.
Fortune roll. All right, standard.
Yes, and 1 bonus die. Oh my god! That's 1 tick. You can spend a rep to up the result level if you want. That rep's not going to go anywhere.
I will use rep Twilight Patrol to sell piss.
Oh god. Can we save the details of how this works out for
I mean, I think it's clear why our rep goes down as a result of this.
This is when it's business. I don't understand. This is not drugs. This is not traffic.
This is a chemical, and chemicals are useful. So I think,
and I think that our rep goes down because Silas Ravenglass and the tough one are just really adamant about explaining this to everyone they come across.
Yeah, but that's oh yeah. People know that Silas Ravenglass is the Raven Doctor. There is, I don't think that many people don't think that these are 2 totally different people.
You can do dye, you can whiten cloth with that. You can whiten teeth with piss. It's very good piss.
There are medical uses for urine.
Yeah, listen to Silas. He's doctor. He knows piss is good.
Can I ask, Alec, what do you hear about the Nightingale's actions as you and Silas are moving all this pit?
I think because of what happened, that that made Silas have an even stronger and not quite controlled connection to ghost energies, which allows him to punch ghosts now. When he walks around Duskwall, as maybe he's delivering some piss somewhere, the energy within him will react somehow with whatever Nightingale is doing, and it will give a sort of indication where Nightingale might be operating, or where something rather important might take place. So it might sort of not pinpoint, but give an idea of an area where the Twilight Patrol should do something.
Yeah, I should bring up a map of Duskwall. Let me see if I can do that. It's somewhere in this library. I've run out of space apparently for Roll20, and I have to upgrade at some point. We'll see if I ever do that. This is a very low res map of Duskwall.
Should use my roads better for maps.
We'll see. Okay. Yeah, I think the problem is like all these hotspots. There is a lot of them throughout this city. They're all over the place. There's some here in the docks. There's stuff here. Here in Crow's Foot. This is where you are, Char Hollow. But I will say, like, there's not that many over here or here. I forgot what those districts are. It's like this big concentric circle, which I'm going to try to draw. It's like this big circle around, the center. There we go. That's a lovely circle there. And I think there is like a larger concentration around these outlying. There's a dot there now. These outlying districts. So this is Charter Hall. This is the docks. Ghost activity off the charts in the middle of Duskwall. All right, everyone has one more downtime action. We're going to do that, and I'm going to throw the entanglement in your face.
Cool. I will work on my project to get Inspector Mara, someone who might be able to have enough official pull to arrest whoever we end up not murdering or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the action? I know it's a formality because there's only one tick left. But I do want to see what Redcoat is doing in the fiction to do this.
Prowling to do a Batman Commissioner Gordon style kind of standing behind them in the office and then throwing down the evidence, and you know what I mean, like the full-on sort of appeared out of nowhere and disappears out of nowhere. But you can trust me kind of thing. I need someone I can trust.
Yeah, so. I think when you throw the evidence on her desk, she's already looking at, there's another evidence. There's like a full detailed confession from one of Grace's members of her squad. Because I just noticed you wrote it down there, Armand. And you throw in the other evidence and it completes there. She doesn't seem surprised. As if she's not as surprised that she would have been. She's still quite surprised that you were there, but it's almost more like about time. That's the feeling Redcoat hopefully we'll get that
I was thinking that how you asked for things to tie in. So obviously Inspector Mara is somebody who may have leads on that lead, or perhaps this is why Hella has been turned into the fall guy for Grace's murder, because she noticed something and she started poking. She asked questions about it, and then the conspiracy or whatever, the money, the corruption got to her. So whichever of those do you feel would be the best hook for some information? Yeah,
I think we can do both. It's always both is always good. I think the evidence that we probably montage a bit of Inspector Mara trying to figure out how to contact you and just leaving a dead drop of info. And you get from Armand's confession that Grace's squad, they have a lot of takes. They have a lot of fingers and a lot of different pies. But one particular like bank account has been like giving them a lot of money. And this bank account is apparently, there's a lot of different like, forwarding companies and whatnot, but they've managed to trace it thanks to like Armand's confession and the fact that Grace doesn't trust anybody. So she decided, like, I'm gonna figure out who the hell is this. They've traced the money to the district of what's the name of this? Why I thought I had this prepared. What's the name? Nope. Brightstone.
Brightstone, the posh part of town.
Yeah, this part.
Mhm.
Oh, that big square there. There's a park. There's a big ass park in Duskwall. It's messed up. Yeah.
Perfect.
Hell yeah. All right. So who wants to do their next downtime activity?
I'd like to relieve some stress.
Okay.
My vice. So I think
Which one of your vice?
So my vice is it's faith, I think, and it was related to the fact that I was possessed by a ghost, and so I think Alec retired himself in some quiet place of some kind, maybe an attic or I don't know what could be available, but the panel shows him like on his knee, not exactly praying, his hands are not together, but sort of the ghostly energy sort of coming out of him and congregating in the shape of that ghost. And Alex says, I did what you want. I received help, but I'm cleaning Pissing Alley for you. I'm doing good. Tell me I'm doing good. Tell me I'm gonna be better person now.
Roll your indulge vice to see if your alchemist friend has good things to say about how you're doing. Indulge vice is over.
Bonus 0. Submit.
All right. Okay. All right. It's you want that because you only have 3 stress.
Okay.
If you had rolled higher than 3, you would overindulge and would have flung some stuff on you. But you get rid of 2 stress and you're fine. I think judgmental ghost dad, alchemist friend, is gonna look at you sternly and he just says, one can try to be good their whole life, but what I found, even in death, is that trying to be good is a process. It keeps going and going and going. I can say though, Alec, that you're on the right process. You're on the right track. And he kind of like pats you in the cheek, and it's cold and creepy because he's a ghost.
I think a bit of the spectral energy is kind of following out of my my cheek when you remove his hand. Is kind of lingering. Is it coming out of me or is it his own which is lingering? It's not quite clear in the drawing.
Yeah.
Very creepy and spooky.
Okay. Was there anything else you want from there, or want to move on?
No, I think it's good.
Okay. I think I'll add that like when he disappears, he kind of like looks toward you, and there's like a sudden look of alarm for a moment, and then he just kind of like goes away, and you can't tell if like he was him being dramatic or something happened, but you do hear a bird song in the air as he disappears.
Ooh.
So yeah, that's happening.
I will tell Silas of that.
Yeah. Speaking of Silas.
Yeah, I think what I thought I might work on my project, but I think it's a bit superfluous, really, because this is where it's headed anyway with the Nightingale. So I think I could reduce our heat a little.
I would say like it's perfectly fine if you want to. If you complete the Nightingale project, I'll give you like a ton of info for sure.
Okay. Cool. Then I'll go with the Nightingale project because, reducing heat, that is not something I'm good at anyway. We should send out one of our, whatever our faceless minions are called. They have a name probably. But the people who are good at, the Abbess. She's not a faceless
does Silas
minion.
call them anything other than faceless minions, though?
Yes, he does. He doesn't call people faceless minions to their actual face. That would be weird.
Just
He
in
might
your
have.
head. Just in your head.
Just in his head. Yes. Yeah, but then I will try to figure out, follow my project and the identity of the Nightingale. And since the Nightingale is very much involved with the ghostly community is maybe the wrong word, but I will try to follow that up. We had a lot of ghost energy at the river some nights ago, so maybe I can follow up with that because somebody had to put these ghosts in boxes, and I really want to know how they did it and where they learned to do that. That has to be a ritual.
Yeah. So what's the action you're going to be rolling for this?
I think I still would like to roll this with a tune, really, because ghost field and stuff like that.
Yeah, that seems totally reasonable. So let's put a fortune roll.
Yeah, I'm doing a tune fortune roll. Okay, probably can do that. Yes, I can. I will submit standard.
Yep.
Important, and I don't have bonus dice, so I'll just roll, and I've got a 5. So.
Whew, that's 2 ticks. You're away.
Yeah,
well, that's fine.
1 tick away.
Unless you want to spend a rep to bump that up.
Yeah, I want to spend a rep to bump that up. Come on. What else is it good for? We're in the final session, right? You guys don't mind, right? Okay, cool. Then I'll spend a rep and bump it up to fill the clock.
Okay. So, I'm going to bring you to the map of Brightstone. This package of maps is really good. Now. Yeah. Okay. So I just want to know where in this map of Brightstone with all these lovely names, do you find you already know that it's from the Kellis house, but where in this map is the Kellis house?
I think the Kellis house is in. It's in Radiance.
Of course.
Because that is, and let me see, what street? Carnation. I can't read this. I'm too short-sighted for it.
Yeah. Cornication? Hold on. Is that right?
No, I think that's
coruscation. That's what it is.
Coruscation. That is a word, right? So we'll take this one.
It is a word.
Like Coruscant in Star Wars.
Yeah. It's like a shimmering of a kind of wavy.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Here's what the dictionary definition. The occurrence of a small flash or spark, glitter, sparkle.
Oh, did you see that last bit? Coruscations of great wit. That seems like our own doctor, doesn't it?
Yes, exactly. That's why it drew him to that street and led him to the eventual discovery.
Yeah, I think you will see and you will hear the whisperings of ghosts circling around the Kellis house here in Radiance. I'm gonna say it's this one, right on the edge of the water. Also, I just noticed the font on these streets are much nicer than the ones in Char Hollow. Pissing Alley is boom, but here they're nice. But I would say it's this house.
The channel is called Brightwater, and I imagine it kind of lives up to that name.
Yeah. Oh man, lots of glowy eels there probably. Oh, I did not mean to draw a box. Darn it! Roll 20. There we go. That's fine. I've marked it there. But yeah, I think you get the whisperings of gossip amongst the people around here, in that Kellis house is basically been shut down for the moment, and all the kids of the Kella's father, who is in prison because of corruption. They've all kind of scattered to the winds. The eldest, Dolores, is spending time at White Crown, which is where the nicest district. Brightstone is just for all its heirs. White Crown is where the governor lives. Therefore, it is the nicest. Dolores is spending time there, basically just to get away from the house. The Archibald, the Crapsore one, has elected to go on a Leviathan hunting cruise with Lord Strangford. He wants some adventure out there. He'll be fine. And one of the twins, Octavius, is, well, some would say it's prison, but it's more kind of a prison for rich people. It's nice. It's well appointed. He's basically taking a spa vacation in Silk Shore, but it's quote unquote prison because apparently he was caught up in something and decided that's the easy way out. So the only person in the house is our dear Rosalind Kellis.
Oh, okay.
And basically she's been shut away in that house for quite some time. The only people who come in and out are like a motley assemblage of like nobles, messengers. They say she hasn't been right since she sent away her servant, Paula, way back. There are rumors that she's been meeting up with unsavory sorts, like that Lord Skurlock. Who wants to meet with him? It's all good.
He's his own faction. How dare they talk about him in this manner? I don't have the word. Cats. These cats.
Yeah. Hold on, give me a second. I just heard a noise. I think my headphones just died.
Hello, can you hear us?
Yeah, hold on, give me a second. Your voice is now coming out of the microphone, not these headphones.
Okay, it's not supposed to come out of the microphone though.
No, it's
supposed
not.
to come out of your ear things.
Hold on, I got earphones for that reason.
Okay.
I expect these headphones to die.
Buy headphones. First victim of the night, the headphones.
Yeah.
Fatality.
Okay, now you're coming out of the speakers, but not the headphones. Not the earphones.
Hello. I'll just keep talking so you can adjust your loudspeaker thingies.
Yeah, give me a second.
Yeah, sure, go ahead. I'm just keep talking because I know when I try to adjust my volume and things like that, and people then all stare at the screen or all silent, and I can't adjust anything because I don't know where it's coming from.
Okay, I got it sorted. Thanks, Sabine, for covering for that. Okay, so I think you get enough like scuttlebutt. You get enough of the clues like come together for sure, because you already know Paula worked for the Kellis, and all the other Kellis kids are out of town, and Rosalind is the only one there. You've got a target anyway, and that's coupled with everything else that Redcoat and Alec have been sniffing out. It's all triangulating, so to say.
I will then call a meeting.
Before we call that,
let's go back to the downtime before we go at.
Yeah, we only have one downtime activity before, so
we have our NPC downtime guy.
Oh, that as well. But Amison has one more downtime activity, I think.
Yep, I do, and I think to lead into to set the setup, I do think this is the part where, as we discussed earlier, Amison is following around their cat who's doing detective work, unaware that they are in fact their cat's sidekick. Like when I say following around their cat doing detective work, I mean following their cat who is doing detective work, not.
I gotcha.
So is it you indulging your vice while Stripey actually does the detective work?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll.
Okay. Actually, do I get an extra die because I am getting Stripey to aid me in building my vice?
I don't think that's how that works.
Okay. Have to be stingy about it, Leandro.
You roll minimum 2 dice, you'll be
No.
fine. Unless you roll like 2
You say that.
Everyone rolls crap. Let's see, you get 4. 4 is it's a respectable, I guess. You're down to 3 stress used up. What do you find about the Nightingale's activities? What does Stripey find? Sorry. I shouldn't disrespect the actual.
Find?
Yeah, I shouldn't disrespect the actual detective.
Yes. I mean, Amison does only have 1 study, I should note. So Stripey is definitely the one. I think that what we find is that Stripey manages to intercept some of the Nightingale's like mechano bird type things, and like where what. I don't know how much fiction has already been established about the Nightingale, so I'm a little bit leery of adding something that's just completely like off of what we've established. But like, what do we find in like what do we intercept in these messages?
I think what you'll find, and this will probably cut to like you bringing this to the Twilight Patrol attention, is that these mechanical birds, they're spark craft things that are powered with some bit of electroplasmic energy. What you find with the ones you captured is like it's like they're set off to go at a specific moment, as in they're all set off to like start singing. And what you also find is when you find these when Stripey finds these nightingales, they're around specific locations that are like, have had some gang activity. Like, oh, there's these birds hanging around near where the gray cloaks are. There are some birds hanging around where the bill hooks are. Here's some birds hanging around where the lamp blacks are, the red sashes, blah, 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 blah. And then you took that ledger, right? The accounts book, right, Amison?
Yes. Was that me? Maybe, yeah.
Someone, I think it was you, yeah, because the one in the cargo hold. We'll say you kept that on you.
Right.
As
Okay, I think I did take it then, yeah.
Yeah. And you will see that like it corresponds with, as in where you find these nightingales, it kind of corresponds with who got sold these hulls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, yeah. Then you bring that to the Twilight Patrol.
Stripey keeps one, like lets it think it got away, then puts its paw down on it again, then lets it think it got away again and puts its paw back down on it again.
Of course. Yeah. So I think what I'm gonna do is, I know there's like some more downtime activities. We can do them amidst all this free play stuff. But
should we just roll quickly for the reduced heat, because it's just like a roll, right? Like,
yes.
Dr. Hartley lowers some heat. If I click on roll, will it roll it at our tier off the expert?
Yeah. Should do that.
There we go. That's a 3. So that is just 1 point of heat removed. You know what? I will spend a point of rep to make that 2.
Okay. Well, there we go. Yeah. Dr. Hartley puts in the good work. Okay. So I think, let's have you at this meeting so I can throw this entanglement at you.
Can we do the acquire an asset?
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah. We can do that as well.
I think Sabine wants to get a explodey bomb.
I mean, yeah, explodey bomb sounds like something that Dr. Fox might be able to produce.
Which I guess would be an acquire an asset
Yeah.
roll, because we only want it, bombs explode,
Yeah.
right? We don't want a permanent supply of them.
Yeah, but we don't need a permanent supply of bombs. We just need a bomb right now.
to remind Leandro, explodey bombs actually do generate heat when you acquire asset to get them, as opposed to crafting them.
Well, technically, the thing is, we've been playing fast and loose with this cohort because we kind of wanted.
Okay, that's no problem then.
Yeah. Technically, their core asset is them making it. We just.
Oh, okay.
in the
It's no
ingredients
big
or
deal. I
something.
just thought I'd bring it up.
Using it would accrue heat, for sure. Because I know, like, because I was playing a leech in another campaign, I used a grenade, and it was like, oh shit, that comes with 2 heat. Okay, cool. But
I think for what we're planning to do right now, we will generate heat anyway.
okay,
Quite a lot of it.
That's fair. All right, so core asset, you roll your tier, which Dr. Lucia Fox is already part of it. So someone roll the good doctor.
Yeah, I would roll the good doctor. Or well, where do I roll it? On
Next to the name.
roll. Yeah, she's got a 6.
Ooh,
Nice.
so you get a. What's this tier 2 bomb look like? It's a tier above yourselves.
Oh, nice. I think it doesn't look. I think it's in a box. It's basically a nice little, not very big box. Big like a big cigar box. You know, that's what it looks like. Just
You want to spend a coin and push it up even further to a tier 3
oh,
one?
sure. Yes,
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Which is,
I
in the
absolutely
book
want.
is grenade.
Oh, and that's the heat inducing one. Well, still looks like a cigar box that you can basically
Oh,
make explode.
It's a James Bond style cigar box. That's perfect. Like
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Very unostentatious until we blow it up.
It
Okay.
has real cigars in it. Like you can open it, it looks like a.
No, I don't think it goes. It is not that subtle. It doesn't have real cigars in it. But if you
Okay.
want a real cigar, I will give you one.
Okay. I think I will throw this entanglement, which it's a simple one, and I know what I kind of know what you're going to respond to be. It's going to be part of the fiction. It's going to be at your meeting place, which because Amazon hasn't been there, it's an abandoned clock tower. Let me port you back to Char Hollow for the moment. I don't know what noise I just made there. So Duskwall map. So the clock tower is here. So I think as kind of like you're laying out the plan, you kind of have like the details. Paula is like, she's a former servant of Rosalind, so she's been brought in there. She's saying like, I think she walks in and then you see you all have these like birds, these nightingales. And then she just stops and kind of like freezes. And then the nightingales all kind of in unison look towards her and start singing, not the song that they've been singing that y'all been hearing, but like this different, more melancholy tune. And something comes over Paula. It's like and her eyes kind of like close, and she kind of like, it's like just being held by like strings. And then a voice kind of comes out of her. It's like, testing. Hello? Can anyone hear me? Is this working? Ugh. I assumed that Skurlock said this would work, but... And Paula's head kind of jerks around, looking around.
I can assure you that it works.
Oh, that's fantastic. So... I assume I'm in the presence of the quote-unquote Twilight Patrol.
Well, you can assume all you want.
I haven't met this person before, but I'm assuming that this is unlike her.
Aye.
Yes, it is.
I think Paula's like looking around and it's like, an unfamiliar voice? But that's to be expected. You lot seem to shed heroes as quickly as you accept them. Whatever Whatever happened to your widow friend? Whatever happened to my dear acquaintance Victoria Hightower? Where's where's your little sly disguisey friend? Who's this new person you've got here now?
I was thinking out of character that where the magpie's been is obviously a captive of Nightingale or Skurlock the entire time.
Oh,
I'm
I
sure,
love.
I'm sure Jim will not object to that in any way, shape, or form because it's comic booky,
Yes.
Oh, I like that, but I think
Yeah.
the Nightingale wouldn't immediately give that away.
Oh no, I know, but I
No.
didn't like why we don't come up with an answer for it. Like
I wouldn't come up with an answer anyway because I say I'm not really in the habit of answering questions of people who have not introduced themselves.
I think like in response to that, Paula's eyes. Oh, I think his eyes tries to open, but you can see like there's like a struggle, and I think all of you can tell like Paula's like struggling to keep her eyes closed. But the nightingales around you kind of like sing, and the Nightingale responds by saying, I don't think I need to introduce myself. After all, we've been playing a kind of game between us, haven't we? It's all been a bit of a push and pull kind of situation. I
so
tried.
far we've been winning.
Is there
Well,
something you want? Miss, I think I know her last name and I will use it now, but I'm forgetting it. So I'm prattling around until I find it.
Kellis.
Callis. Miss Callis. Is there anything you want right now, or is this just a social visit?
Well, I don't see why we can't be friends after all. By the time I'm done with this little operation of mine, the one that you've all been nipping around the heels around, well, by the time I'm done, quite frankly, all of you will be obsolete.
No, you're telling us your plans, are you?
Well, I'm being generous. I'm giving you a heads up. By Duskwall equivalent of 5 o'clock afternoon tomorrow. By that time, all of you will be out of a job, basically. And you'll find that no matter what the ink rakes say, the Twilight Patrol, you've all just been just a distraction, a fad, one would say.
And yet you're here to talk to us.
Oh, I'm just here to see what you all would do. The entanglement I rolled is called sending a message. One of the factions that you have a negative status with sends a message that you should back off. But because the Nightingale is a shithead rich kid, she's not telling you to back off. She's taunting you.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll be seeing you then.
Oh, I'm sure we'll be seeing each other. Yes? Cool.
You know,
absolutely.
My dear Miss Callis, you should have taken up knitting or embroidery. One makes more fitting social companions that way. Less boredom ensues. Might have been a better choice. And then I'm smashing one of the Nightingales because I've had enough of her.
I think Paula twitches and her eyes still stay resolutely shut. But the Nightingale just gives like this ugly kind of laugh and just says nothing like a Nightingale when she laughs. It's just, Mr. Dr. Ravenglass, or whatever you want to call yourself, I took up knitting. You should see the tapestry I wove. And by the end of it, I'd gotten everything I want out of knitting. So you know what? I decided to get a different hobby. I took up rowing. And rowing in Duskwall is actually quite brisk, trying to dodge all the eels. It's great. But then I got bored because the eels, they weren't much, really. Turns out one eel is just like the other. So I got bored and I took up another hobby. And
is it going anywhere, love? I mean, we've got...
I play checkers sometimes.
Yeah. Alec, tough one. You've got an hobby as well, haven't you?
Yeah, what will be, but I don't want to give away clues to my secret identity.
Very wise, very wise. So now we've talked about our hobbies and you've talked about your plot. Is there any point to this, or can you just let poor Paula go?
What makes you think I was ever gonna let Paula go? And the Nightingale song gets louder, and Paula starts stepping away from you, away out of your hideout.
Is there a way we can stop this from happening?
I mean, go ahead. What do you want? Any of you want?
We can grab her, or I feel like one of us would be good at breaking this whole.
I
One
think
can lift Paula, so she can.
I think I will call on my ravens to not to lift her up, but to start cawing and just being noisier than the stupid Nightingale song.
That's a nice panel with the sound of both birds conflicting.
Yeah.
This is gonna be an action roll. I know,
Yeah.
an action roll outside of the mission. Holy Christ. What are you rolling? This is gonna be risky. Well, actually, depends on what you're rolling. But I assume it's a tune.
Yeah, I think it's a tune or command. Could also be command.
I'm gonna say command is gonna have limited effect because the Nightingale is not gonna listen to you.
No, then I'm going to use a tune just to, And I'm rolling with position is risky.
Yes.
Effect is standard.
Is anyone helping?
Right.
Yes. It's gonna be standard. Is anyone helping?
Can I help through physically trying to restrain Paula?
Yeah. As soon as you take one stress.
Cool.
And
Get a bonus die, right?
Yes.
Cool. Submit. Oh, okay, it's 2 4s. Not great, but
No success.
that's a success.
Okay.
Save the 6s for later.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you're gonna break through this like connection that's ensorcelled Paula for sure, with the Raven's cacophony and whatnot.
I mean, she has learned part of the ritual anyway, or the ritual itself, so there should be a connection.
Yeah. And I think the connection will break, and what happens, like all the Nightingales that you've brought to your secret base suddenly kind of start exploding. Don't worry, it's like just small pinpricks of like as the feedback, the connection kind of like comes back and forth. And I think like Paula will kind of like for a moment open her eyes, and you'll see, and there's a moment where you're not sure that it's her looking through, or if it's the Nightingale. But then Paula faints. And faints into Alex's arms, I suppose. Unless there's anything else after this scene, I think we're gonna close it there and take a break, and then get into it. Let's come back at 5 minutes to the hour. Actually, let's just come back at the top of the hour. That's simpler. Go 10-minute break. That's okay with folks, and then we're gonna get into the end game.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got Nightingale has called you up, and actually, here's the consequence of that, because you rolled a 4, or at least a mixed success. Dr. Ravenglass. Yes, no, it is Dr. Ravenglass. I'm gonna put an 8-tick clock on the board, which it's probably gonna be on the Brightstone map. I'll put that there recently. Basically, it is it's going to be the Nightingale's plan or scheme or something more melodramatic. The obsolescence of heroes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be 8 ticks. That's the clock you're going to have to race against.
Twilight of the Twilight Patrol.
Twilight of the heroes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just not to quote Alan Moore again.
I would have so loved to have read that. Sorry, digressing.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to get a quick shot as we kind of move into, into this job of each character preparing to take the fight to the Nightingale. And then I guess we'll talk about what the plan is. But yeah, once someone has an idea of what they're doing to prepare, give me a shout about what that image looks like.
Putting on the red coat uniform, slowly, it's a tracking shot of him taking off the blue coat uniform and taking out the red coat uniform from the hidden thing in the back, and looking in the the mirror as he puts it on bit by bit, and then before he dons the helmet, his eyes fall upon Hella's badge that he's taken from the station, and she no longer has. And then he puts the hood on and goes out.
Hell yeah.
Well, I think Silas is pretty much not the same, but similar in that he puts his mask on, calls up ghostly energy to give him his coat a bit of a lift, and have the ravens arraigned behind him. And just before he goes, he turns around and he looks, goes over to his family's altar, gets to the box where his burned effigy is in, where his fate is in, knocks on wood 3 times, so that his fate might not come to pass this time. And then he says, he gives a tiny little glass of rum to Sitara, and then he goes.
I think she's just like, huh? Oh, off you go. All right, cool. I'm sure you can call on her for help later, but right now she's sitting in a corner looking like she's playing chess with someone you can't see.
Well, it's mostly a ritual. It's my kind of my family's religion with this demon, so I'm stealing my spirit for things to come.
That's fine. Yeah, I think we get a shot of as you're leaving, she's looking on with a bit of concern, hoping for the best. What about Alec or Amison?
Alec is tying his laces to the big boots, which are part of his makeshift costumes. He's tying bandages around his fists and forearms. Puts on his leather cap and his goggles, and then there's a punching bag next to him. He gives a few good punches there, and then puts a big duffel bag on his back and goes out of the room.
Yeah. Actually, can I ask Alec, just for a brief aside, how did things go with you and Elsie after you jumped off Skerlock's ship? If that's too big of a question to settle as an aside, we can leave it for later if you want.
Yeah, we can have a flashback later, eventually, if it's needed, or it will be the subject of a special issue. Find out in issue 1 of the tough one.
Elsie could always be somehow mixed up in this, and you could have that moment of the torn mask as your battle damage. I can't believe it's you.
Yeah, because you didn't see your face in the ship, right?
No, or maybe she did, if that's what we decide to do in the flashback. So
we'll see.
Point, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Do it your local toy store. Battle damage, tough one.
Yeah. Oh my god, the way you gouge.
There's a version with the spectral energy also, with the spectral punches.
Yeah, Ghost Fighter, tough one. There's also Ghost Fighter Red Coat. And there's also Blue Coat, Red Coat, which is just confusing.
Underwater action.
There's a Stripey the Cat action figure with a bonus Amison. Speaking of Amison.
What's the action figure for which we got an arm with one of the tough one, the head with the red coat. You know, you get the special action figure. You need all this action figure.
Oh my god. That gives me an idea. I'm gonna note something down. Amazon, how do we see you prepare for this?
Oh, I think we see this like on the page. It's like Amazon is sort of like putting on their Deathlands gear, but I think it probably I think while it's all going on, like Amazon, it like the drawing style for this is like sort of on the chibi side. Like the artist just couldn't really acknowledge Amazon as actually looking at intimidating. And then Stripey jumps up into the coat and just kind of flops themselves over the back of my neck.
Oh yeah. And I think the last shot we get at the end of this montage is there's a window overlooking Duskwall, or at least bits of Duskwall. It's not White Crown where you can overlook all of them, but in this tall, rather stately-looking townhouse at the edge of Brightstone, looking out, there's just this big window that's kind of like covering this entire wall, and there's this woman. I hesitate to call her a girl, but she's acting like a girl. But this woman in this like she's dressed nice. She's got this like blonde hair in like a ponytail. It's kind of curled over her shoulder. She's just kind of like looking down at this city as you know Duskwall goes out its way, and kind of like you in this shot you hear like the whirring of mechanics and clockwork and galvanic energy going on behind her as she's looking down and waiting to see who comes at her. So let's talk about let's do this. Let's talk about this plan unless anyone else wants to gather info, but it seems like
Well, so at the moment it's just a threat from the Nightingale. Effectively, there's nothing kicking off particularly.
She gave you a deadline. Things will kick off at 5 o'clock.
Yes. I'm just saying that I think our approach is. Do we want to go? Does it feel like we're going at her before this deadline can pass, or just because then I feel like a little bit that it's like we're just going straight at Noble's house. But I'm 100% up for that if that's what everybody else wants to do. Should we do that? Twilight Patrol deploy to the Nightingale to Kelly's house, which she doesn't know that we know where it is, I suppose.
I think you get the sense that like she figured out where y'all kind of are. Thankfully, Paula closed her eyes. And she really thinks that you're not going to be able to stop her.
I mean, is it assault time, guys? Or should we do another one of our brilliant stealth plans that turn into assault?
I feel this is assault time. I mean, she came to us and insulted us, taunted us. I don't think this warrants a stealth plan, precisely.
I am always up for assault in a superhero game, 100%. So,
yeah, I mean, I would if we have a really clever stealth plan, sure, but I don't know. We have one instead of going in and punching ghosts, and then explaining to her the error of her ways.
Well, worst case scenario, what happens if we're not stealthy enough? We punch things. So we go for plan B for once, and if it doesn't work, it goes to plan A.
It all boils down to the same plan in the end when you need to deliver justice. So I guess the detail of our plan, because I feel like this is a straight up confronting the supervillain in their lair kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like from that perspective, the detail isn't really like how we go about that, so much as what we face when we get there, kind of stuff. And I feel like the interesting thing is we may take it by surprise, like before the countdown kind of thing, but still that there's like Hull's ghosts, some sort of threat in the, you know what I mean? Like Batman doesn't arrive like 3 days before the Joker's blowing up the dam. He arrives just in the nick of time before the Joker blows up the dam, kind of thing.
Yeah, but we're doing Watchmen.
You arrive 3 hours later. Yeah, yeah.
Would be maybe a really good idea.
Yeah, exactly. Well, she already gave you the deadline. Just arrive anytime before that, and it'd be great.
I think we should arrive as soon as possible, because I don't really want to assume she was telling the truth about her deadline.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's a good point.
I mean, hello, I'm doing this at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Oh, we've got time till 5 o'clock, and at 4 o'clock all hell breaks loose. Or maybe she just didn't figure out how daylight saving times work.
Well, there's no daylight, there's no sun, so...
Perhaps rumors have been going around the criminal underworld about how the Twilight Patrol...
That's what makes it even more nonsensical, Leandro, that we still use it even now.
Yes, exactly.
What was you saying, Will, about the...
I was just saying that maybe like rumors have been going around in the underworld that the Nightingale has told the Twilight Patrol to leave town, kind of thing, and it's now it's time for our big ostentatious you know what, we could have a splash panel walking Reservoir Dogs style, kind of like superhero striding down we come out of the shadows in Coruscant Street and Coronation Street, and we just stride up
Coruscant Street.
Yes, the clock's over the name of the street, so I could only see Chorus in my mind.
Oh, sorry.
To that, yeah, no worries.
Yep.
There we go. But yeah, we just straight on full on attack, I guess, like badass superheroes walking up the street.
And I mean, we could do a kind of a stealth approach, because I don't think she's aware of the cat, and we might use that to our advantage, just to have a hidden ace in our sleeve.
Flashbacks, right?
Flashbacks,
yeah. But I like the idea of the panel showing the three of us just walking abreast, like cool, and the cat sitting somewhere somewhere on a rooftop or something, and watching this, and you can see that they're also, of course.
The cat and Disaster Twink watching the.
Yeah, exactly. And then we see Stripey playing with some sort of mouse or something. Detail the just put in.
I will point out before we get into this, like, you have an ability called Favors. You can spend 1 rep and describe how one of your contacts is put out to help you. Everyone in your crew gets 1 dot in an action your contact is skilled for in this score. That might be useful, I'm just saying.
Yeah, should we do that? What do you think, guys?
Yeah. So your contacts are Mara, the chief inspector, a chief inspector of the Blue Coats. So we got that. There's Soren, your restless ghost butler, who we really should have seen more. I apologize for that. And there's the Abyss, who is like the lady in charge of that Weeping Lady charity. Like, I'll talk to her.
I am. No, that's one of our friends. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
I would lean towards Inspector Mara, just because it seems like, we've got the commissioner, basically, kind of like we've got the one honest cop in town on our side. Like, but what particular boost do you want to get out of that, guys? Like, what dot do you want? What dot would you most want on your sheet? Is what I'm saying.
A lot of choices there.
I mean, maybe survey is something we are not very strong at.
I've got nothing in survey.
Yeah, exactly. Might be useful. I don't know.
Yeah. The only person who has survey is our cat friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. And she'd be good at surveying. The inspector had to be a detective beforehand.
Well, she can have as fed as whatever intel we need to justify our boost at study, kind of thing. Like, nice.
Yeah. Okay. So everyone take a point in survey, and that'll be cleared by the end of this score. That includes Amison, so you now have 2 points in survey. And I'm gonna spend that point of rep. Okay. So now you got the plan, you got the detail. Now you got to pick your load. And yeah, you get back all the items you picked from the last score, so you can clear those boxes. I will say that bomb you got from Dr. Fox, that will cost 1 load once someone declares it.
Heavy has like implications for how fast you can move, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Then I will just go with me normal again.
Yeah.
We got 2 free loads, so
Yeah.
vigilante rigging.
Yeah. So ultimately, we got 7. If you think about it in that terms.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, so like everyone's picked load. Let's go to engagement. All right. 1 roll for luck. Is this operation particularly bold or daring? I mean, you're gonna stride up to her front door, so yes. Is this operation overly complex? God, you're striding up to her front door.
No.
Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target to hit them where they're weakest? Not really. You're going up to the front door. Is the target strongest against this approach, or do they have particular defenses? I'm gonna say kind of no, because she's in the middle of this like big operation, and she took the time to taunt y'all about it. So you're kind of an even footing. So you still have 2 dice. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight? Well, we did that with Inspector Mara. That's 3 dice. Are any enemies or rivals interfering in the operation? Yes, I'll just say yes. Are there any elements? Yada, yada. Oh, there is 1 element. You're in the Brightstone district, and districts do have their special rules when you're acting against them. Most engagement roles suffer -1 die due to heavy blue coat patrols, but you do have a chief inspector with you as an ally. So I think that it says most. So not every engagement role will suffer a -1 die thanks to heavy blue coat patrols. Thank God you got that inspector on board the previous downtime. So 2 dice. Who wants to roll engagement? You're muted, Will.
Plus, I kind of imagine the Nightingale's plans will ultimately cause distractions among the Bluecoats as well as ourselves, because she's a supervillain, right? So. This
plan is a lot. Okay. So 2
I
dice.
think Will should roll it because you kind of pushed for this to happen, so you should have the honor.
If everyone's sure of that, I would be honored.
Go ahead.
Engagement roll is where on the sheet again?
In the Twilight Patrol sheet. It's under protected grounds, roll engagement.
You can also just roll fortune. The engagement roll doesn't really... It's basically just a fortune roll that's labeled engagement.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, I should have rolled a bonus dice, shouldn't I? Sorry, I can do that again.
No, yeah. Yeah, you rolled 0 dice.
But I got a 6.
No, well, no, because no, roll 2 actual dice.
Okay.
Also, that you got a 4. 4 is pretty good.
Yeah.
Because if we've gone with that 0 dice, take the lowest, it still would have been a 5. So, all right, you started in a risky position. I think when y'all stroll up, and yeah, it is a proper Reservoir Dogs, like y'all walk in, which is quite a while because Brightstone is literally on the arse end of Duskwall compared to Char Hollow.
You do not focus on the blocks of rooftops that Matt Batman had to jump over to get to the building on the other side of Gotham.
That's fair.
And also take a coach and then get out of it.
Yeah, but if we're leading into the Alan Moore aspects, we have to see how realistic. No, I'm kidding. All right. So as y'all walk up, see, makes yourself in a risky position when the action starts. Yeah, I think y'all walk up and so Amison is like perched up, and it's the 3 of y'all walking towards the I'm gonna say is like a fairly nice looking townhouse. There's not even like a gate. There's just like a door leading out. And for a moment, you think you saw like, then there's the big window at I'd say this is like a four-story kind of house. The windows are kind of like curtained off. There's like iron bars over the windows. It's a place that doesn't invite visitors readily. And there's like this big ass window on the top floor, and it's covered for the moment as well. The door is, I think, ajar. It's a double doors. And it's kind of ajar, and I think I want to ask who's up front.
Probably me or the tough one.
Because here's what happens. Here's what puts you in a risky position. And Amison, you're kind of like watching as well from like a vantage point. A hand smashes through the doors and will grab, let's say the tough one. Sure, why not? It's a big mechanical hand. And you can see that like it's just a hand there, and electricity spurting out of the hand attached to something in the middle. It's a grappling hand. And it drags the tough one inside, smashing through like the doors. And you're kind of like toppled. Don't worry, you're not going to get hurt, tough one. You're going to get toppled in front of... This is like the biggest hull you've seen so far. You're kind of like in a fairly cramped opening space. Like I said, this is not the widest of houses, but this hull is like heavy. It's like 2 cylinders like taped to each other. That's how wide and big its body is. And its head looks tiny in comparison. It's like this, again, the cylinder thing, but there's not like a mechanical mouth. It's kind of like clacking on and off, and the hand retracts back to the arm, and it opens its mouth and lets out this horrible wailing, and it's 2 voices wailing from within this hull. And yeah, I think that's where you are, a tough one. I assume Redcoat and Raven Doctor will follow behind. Can I ask where Amison is, if we did go with the plan, or are you going along with everyone else?
Yeah, I'll go along with that, the plan that other people introduced. I think that Amison is probably like perched across the street, probably like somewhere that I can get a good sight line on everyone.
Yeah. I think just to put you in a risky position as well, Amison, you're perched in the street. You see the tough one get dragged in. The other 2 jump in, and then you hear this like whistling sound, and I think you just duck at the right moment when a bullet just like whizzes past you, and it's coming from the house. The Nightingale came to play here.
Yeah, I mean, in that case, I am definitely going to be probably looking over, trying to spot the shooter, probably with survey.
Okay. All right. We'll give the first roll to you, and then we'll cut to the folks dealing with the big hull. This is the last time I'm going to be deploying a hull as an obstacle. Oh yes, if anyone wants a line throw or flashback. Yeah, you're in a risky position, Amison. I'm gonna say standard effect. Or actually no, I think it's a bit limited because you're under fire. Do you want to push yourself or take a double fire?
Yeah, I'm just gonna push it down to desperate.
Okay, desperate standard.
Like I am actually taking a look around. Let's see if
do it. Yeah. You should, but do you still want to push yourself or take a bargain?
Sure, I'll take a bargain if you have one on offer.
Yeah, I think. Um, I say yes if I had one on offer. Besides taking.
I have one.
Oh, go ahead.
The fight, like the Nightingale, hasn't hit you with the bullets, so she pulls out a heavier weapon and will blow up the rooftop that you're on. But you will, like the shots will change from gunshots to like weird magic, weird stuff.
Yeah, I think ghosty, more ghosty stuff, less mundane. I think you can feel the charge of ectoplasmic energy already in the air, just coming from this house. This house is weird.
Like, what would that mean fictionally for me then?
It means I have a wider range of complications for you.
Okay, sure, I'll take that bonus die. Don't know what it means, but I'll take it.
Yeah, take a die.
Let's see here.
Hey, that's a 6. 6 is good.
Yep.
So mark XP.
I did.
Yeah. So here's when like the ordinance changes. But you can see where it comes from. Yeah, the bullets kind of stop. You peer up and you see that like one of the windows has opened, and you see there's this someone like you see like a box kind of like is tossed. Yeah, a window is open. It's on the 3rd floor. I think you just saw someone like retract a rifle from the 3rd floor, and they come out and they pull out a box, and they open the box, and this ghost energy starts kind of like leaking out, and it's spreading this like this field around you. You're feeling fine for the moment, but it's spreading this kind of like weird energy. It's kind of like gonna envelop you, and you can see the person is who. It's like actually, that's correct. Lord Skerlock loaned her over. You see, that's your sister there who was taking shots at you, Amison.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. All right, nothing bad's happening to you. You rolled a 6, but you spot her.
No. That's still a sigh that runs through Amoson's mind. Like, that wasn't me at you, Leander. That was just Amoson at their life.
Okay, that's fair. But yeah, I think just to color in how your desperate position, I think this like ghost miasma is gonna start covering the house, for sure. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, and I'm definitely pulling out my long rifle, but if you want to switch over to someone else, feel free.
Yeah. I will mention in the chat, if you want a flashback to have taken the line thrower so you can get in there.
Yeah, I eventually will, but I still have to deal with all this right now.
Okay. So, back inside. You're in a fairly nice looking living room where the furniture has been covered, but you can see walls have been knocked out to account for a lot of like electricity. Actually, the entire second floor, the floor of the second floor has been knocked out to accommodate a lot of equipment, a lot of very sturdy looking equipment, and also to accommodate this big fucking hull who like opens them out and lets out that death rattle. I'm gonna go to the tough one first since you were the one who were grabbed, and it's kind of like hunches forward. What do you do?
So it's kind of coming to grab me. That's right.
Oh yeah, it has grabbed you and it's kind of thrown you down to the ground.
Okay. Wow. Boom, boom, boom. What would I do? I guess just through sheer strength, I will try to overpower it. Opening the hand, maybe crack a few knuckles, mechanical knuckles, if I can.
Okay. What action are you rolling?
So that would be skirmish.
Okay. This is gonna be risky limited because you are but one. You're a very tough man, but you're kind of you're trying to like burst through metal. Is anyone willing to assist him?
Risky limited.
Yeah.
Or do you assist me?
How do I assist you? I like as it reaches back one hand to like squash you with the other, like while it's got you pinned and you're ripping out of it, it reaches with the other hand to slam down, and then Redcoat rushes in and like smacks it out of the way with his like a big overhand blow with his massive hammer type weapon.
1 bonus die.
Yes. Do you want to push yourself or take a devil's bargain?
Oh, sorry.
No worries. Well, you roll, you roll. Oh, hell yeah. That's a success. However, it's a limited, so that's 1 tick. But yeah, what does it look like when you like burst through?
The panel really shows the mechanical hand really open wide, and the tough one falling from it with his arms and legs wide. So it's very dramatic, and then he falls on the ground doing a superhero landing.
Yeah. I think that kind of like tees up one of the other heroes. I'll turn to the Raven Doctor, and then to Redcoat, if that's okay.
I think, I mean, this is, there's a lot of ghostly energy here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I want to get in there. I want to look for a weak spot, I guess. And then I will try to dissolve this, or throw this, no. Let me think, do I see where it originates?
The ghostly energy?
Yeah.
I can do that for free. You're a spirit warden. Yeah, I think it's overpowering. This house is saturated with it. It's ghastly. It's almost quite like that ghost field you fought with the Dimmer sisters, where they stitched together a lot of ghosts. But it's nauseating, frankly, for your senses. It's all over. But you can tell that it's being controlled and concentrated in some kind of by some kind of machine that's run through this entire house.
And we've got a bomb, and it's a machine. Oh, I love this. I will then step forward and try to make my way to the machine through the ghosts, and I will try to let the ghosts make me pass, basically, without attacking me. I mean, the hull, I think these 2 tough guys can take care of this little hull, but there are lots of other ghosts, and I really don't want them to do whatever they think is a good idea with me. So I want to figure out the way to get to the machine as quickly and as as economically as possible.
All right. What are you rolling?
A tune, I guess. I mean, what else would I be rolling?
What else? Yeah.
I mean, I'm a whisper. That's my go-to. That's my go-to thingy. Okay. Do I want to push myself here? No. Do you have a devil's bargain?
Yeah, I'm gonna add 2 ticks to the Twilight of the Heroes clock.
Where's the clock? Yeah, right now.
None.
I figure we can.
It's 8 ticks as well.
Okay. Oh, okay. Then I guess that's okay, right, guys? Peoples? Hawks, I can see you because I'm looking at the wrong. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, they're giving thumbs up.
Okay, yeah, I've seen it now. Okay, so I roll a tune, and my position is risky, I assume?
Yes, it's going to be risky standard.
Risky standard.
Yeah. You're not using the bomb yet, right? You're just getting to the machine.
Yeah. I mean, blowing up the machine is pretty much what I'm looking for, but submit.
Yeah, I should describe what this machine looks like a bit more. Oh, wow, that's a 6. Basically, imagine like a lot of these tall metal columns kind of almost protruding from the earth based on this first floor and kind of cutting through the rest of the house. It's like the entire west side of it is like covered all these machinery and all these like circuits and whatnot, all out in the open.
Looks like a bit of like a crazed organ.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Cool.
Yeah, but I don't know, you cut through. I think the ghosts kind of like defer to you almost. It's like a parting of the ghost wave as you make your way to the machine. But I think you see the machine kind of starts to power up in response to those ticks getting added. There's this like sickly blue light coming from underneath like the rivets and panels and whatnot. And you can feel your ghost senses are tingling. For sure.
Nice. It doesn't have a big button that says power down or something like that.
God, no, of course not. Let's cut away from you for the moment to Redcoat.
I would like to do a setup action on this hull.
Yeah.
I think that what Redcoat would like to do is, duck under the blows and like rip apart some of the plating, like jam in, like smash, like just pile onto a weak point and rip it apart to provide, I guess, +1 effect level. Or
Yes.
I guess, yeah.
Yes, that's what that set of action does. What action are you rolling?
That feels like a wreck to me.
Hell yeah. I'll say this is risky. Yeah, risky standard.
Okay, and I will push myself.
Hell yeah. Risky standard. Yeah, whoever next acts on the hull will get +1 effect.
Cool. Well, then I will roll. Get 4.
Ooh, all right, okay. I think when you like rip bits of it, I think you are gonna get hit by a ghost pops out from the hit and kind of like jams their face into your face and just lets out this unearthly howl. You are gonna take level 2 harm unless you want to resist that.
Okay. Sorry, I've never actually rolled a resistance roll now that I think about it. How do I roll a resistance roll?
I'm going to choose the category, and you're just going to roll it. And you click, it's either prowess, insight, or resolve. What it'll roll is it'll roll the number, it'll roll dice equal to the number of actions that you have ratings in. So if you see that line on the left-hand side of those categories, that's how many dice it'll roll.
Okay.
This is going to be resolve.
Resolve, and I would then.
You just click on the category, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just wondering what the consequences are because I know that it can top you out when you stress, can't it?
To resist, it costs you 6 stress minus the highest die you roll.
Oh, I see.
To get rid of level 2 harm, to bump to.
What would the level 2 harm be?
It's -1 die.
Yeah, but what is the description?
It's gonna be a kind of haunted frenzy. Basically, this ghost comes out and you'll suddenly feel its pain and trauma as it's kind of like trying to free itself from inside this hull.
Can I help through somehow protecting Redcoat? I got the bodyguard special ability, so.
My eyes literally just fell on that Kalum, and I was like, "Oh, I really hope Kalum is going to mention that." And then you said bodyguard, and I was like, "Yes," because you got a much better chance at that than me.
Of course, I'm on it,
Yeah, absolutely.
So the tough one, we after falling on the ground, we'd roll and sort of jump in the way with his fist crackling of spectral energy. Stop there.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so how protection works is basically, anyone can jump in to take the consequence. For you, Alec, that will be level 2 harm. Do you want to resist that?
Yep.
Absolutely. So same thing, you're going to roll resolve with +1 die. 1 bonus die. Thanks to your ability.
So, okay. So resolve with 1 bonus die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that includes my special ability.
Yeah, that's the bonus die that comes from special ability.
Hey!
So 6 means you take no stress. You just you tank it. I think I don't know how you force the ghost back. The ghost gets sucked back in by the machinery.
I kind of imagining it as like a blast of electroplasmic energy, like with a sort of like a like screaming spirit attached to it, but the tough one just leaps in front of it and is like, no, kind of, and it just dissipates around this immovable object.
Yeah, I think the ghost gets sucked back, but it can't get through the iron wall that is the tough one. And as it's sucked back, the ghost is screaming. You hear this voice, this voice kind of screaming, "I never should have trusted my sister!" As it gets sucked back into the hull. Yeah, we'll unpack that in a moment. Amison, you see your sister, which is not the sister that this ghost is talking about. Don't worry, that's another sister. Geez, a lot of crap sisters in this session. You saw that she's the one who's been taking shots at you. I think she calls out to you as well, in kind of like a weary tone as she's spreading this like ghost energy. It's just, you're not really the hero type, Amison. I know who you are. What are you doing?
Okay, is she like shouting this out?
Yes, but I don't know how she's shouting it out and sounding really tired at the same time.
Okay.
She's doing that.
Yeah, Amison kind of shouts back from where they're hiding. Don't know what you're talking about. Doing totally fine right here. And I'm also returning fire while this is all happening. I assume we're having this conversation while we're having the gunfight.
Yeah. And every time, like, she ducks back as you take a shot, and as she's shooting, she's like saying back, saying, you've always been far too optimistic for this line of work, Amison. You're not doing fine. None of you are. Why can't you just admit that? Bang, bang. And then she expects you to like return fire.
Yeah. Amison glances over and yeah, they I think I'm just the right amount of optimistic, thanks. And I try to take a shot. I guess I'm actually trying to like fire like try to like where is she? Where did I spot her?
Third floor. From a window that's facing you.
Okay. Yeah, I fire off, and I'm trying not to hit her too bad, but I definitely am trying to not to stop her from aiding the destruction of the city mostly.
That's a lot. That's a lot. You're riding on a couple of gunshots.
I mean, as long as she's not like actively aiding, I'm fine. Like if she's just passively rooting for it, being paid.
How are you trying to figure this out?
Like, I don't think I'll actually convince her, but I am trying to like take her out for now.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. What are you rolling with?
Hunt.
Okay. Since you rolled a 6 and you're back in a risky position, I'd say.
Okay.
Given the fact that she's taking time to talk to you in the middle of all this shooting.
Yeah.
Risky.
I mean, we're both pretty bad at this, to be honest.
Yeah, bad at talking to each other. I'm going to say it's a bit limited because you're trying to take her out while she's firing at you, and she's already released this like ghost miasma, so it's going to be hard, but, you know, maybe you'll get there.
So what effect is that?
Limited.
Oh, okay.
Risky,
in
limited.
that case, actually I'll pull out my electroplasmic ammunition. That should help with this.
Yes, it absolutely would. You managed to beat back the ghost nonsense with that before. You can do it again. So that puts you up to risky standard. Do you want to push yourself or take a devil's bargain?
I'm just gonna roll with my dice. I have 3.
Oh, hell yeah. Another 6. Everyone keep... Oh my god! So that bumps you up to great effect. Jeez. So how do you take her out? What does it look like?
I think that I think that probably, like, as she's going on about how much better she is at this than me, I end up like hitting her in the shoulder, which like was what I was aiming for, but I think it ends up like knocking her backwards, and she was like either standing in front of like a cupboard or in front of some stairs, and it actually like ends up being way more like effective at keeping her out of the way than I had expected.
Yeah, I think to the folks downstairs, you'll hear like a thumping from upstairs as Casta is like knocked down. A flight of stairs. Window is wide open, Amison, as well. Just
Sorry.
And
then I pull out the hook, the grapple that we talked about me having.
Oh, yeah. I'll say, right, I don't think you need to roll to get in there. We'll give you the superhero moment of.
Okay.
Oh, cool. All right, so we'll cut away from you, and then we'll come back when you like jump into the window. Back to downstairs. I'll come to the Raven Doctor. You got to this machine. It's pulsing with this kind of energy, for sure. What are you up to? You're muted.
Muted, damn it. I thought I would blow it just up, but maybe blowing up a house in Brightwood is maybe a bit tasteless. And also it's a machine, and machines are there to be turned on or off, right? So I guess, I mean, there are a lot of ghosts going through this machine. And I could try to wreck it, but that's not what I'm really good at. What I'm really good at is talking to ghosts. So I will take out my, whatever that thing is called, my fine lightning hook. And, oh yeah, I can conjure lightning, of course. So what I will do is I take the lightning hook, and look at the machine, figure out where to stick it, and then I'll say to the ghosts, mainly, I'd come out if I were you. You're not supposed to be in there anyway. And then I'll push the lightning hook in, and then I'll just take all the ghost energy and conjure some lightning and conduct it into the machine, just trying to overload it, basically.
Hell yeah. I'm going to say that this is, obviously with a tune, this is going to be risky great. You're there at the machine, but there's still the big-ass hull that's fighting.
Yeah, but there's the tough one. I'm really, and of course Redcoat. I'm really gotten used to the tough one having my back. I like Redcoat, don't get me wrong, but the other guy, you know?
It's still risky great. You're
yeah.
risky.
It's fine. I'm just chatting. This time I'm going to push myself.
Yes, take that extra die.
Because that seems like something you should push yourself for. Risky great, you said. Okay, submit, and I got a bonus die. Submit. Come on. Oh well, that's 4.
No, yeah, you got it. Still 4. It's still a success. So so I'm gonna add 3 ticks because it's a great effect to this clock. The Nightingale song. That's the clock you want to fill.
Where do I find the clock?
It's in the map. It's right.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah. There it is. Twilight of the Heroes, the big hall, and the Nightingale song. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, you conjure lightning inside this cramped house. Oh my gosh. And I think what's gonna happen is you connect to like the ghosts and hear them kind of like murmuring in unison that we don't want to be here. We don't want to be here. We want to go. We want to be free, but we're here. We're fuel. We're 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 fuel, and the revulsion at this idea kind of like rings out through you. And then you hear the Nightingale's voice kind of like cut through that fog. I think everyone kind of like hears it, and just says, "Ah, enough of that whining." And the consequence is gonna be 2 ticks on the Twilight of the Heroes clock as the machine kind of like suddenly kind of goes into overdrive. Some kind of switch gets like turned up somewhere at the top, and the machine starts going, and the ghost. You still have this connection to the ghost, but there's suddenly like, you know, crying out, being like, we're being used up for whatever this is. So do you want to resist that?
I think I would like to do that, yes.
Okay.
Can I use my special ability for this?
Yeah, I was gonna say resolve anyway.
Okay.
So that's an extra die. So
Okay. Resolve, bonus die 1.
I'm gonna get rid of those 2 ticks.
Submit. I've got a 4.
All right, you take 2 stress.
Oh, wow. Okay. And I'm very stressed again. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So how do you like resist this, like the Nightingale kind of like jump starting this machine?
I mean, these ghosts, they should be free, right? And I will not, in this case, it's not about me. It's about me giving strength to these ghosts and powering up their voice, because they're actually, I feel that they're getting on her nerves. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you've taken 2 stress, and you're anchoring the ghosts. Now cut to the tough one. The red coat has opened up the hull for you.
All right. So the tough one's gonna turn towards Redcoat before jumping into the hull. You might want to step aside for a while. He grabs into his pouches a vial of rage essence, and he
Buddy.
swallows it before jumping inside.
You see, you know, like the Batman eye slits that are like that widen, or the spidey eyes. Like Redcoat's like wide eyes, grabbing towards the vial as it goes down your throat. Like, no.
I got the description if you want.
Yeah. Let me read out the Rage Essence file description. A single dose, which greatly enhances the user's strength, resistance to pain, and irrational aggression for the span of several minutes. The GM will modify your precision effect accordingly when you fight on Rage Essence. Also, you suffer 2 consequences. Can't tell friend from foe, and can't stop until they're all broken. You may resist these as usual. Okay, so what are you rolling? Do you have any weapons on you, actually?
I didn't define that yet. I would say I would have something like a what do you call that? One of the wrecking crew things. Just
a big wrecking bar, like a huge crowbar kind
bar,
of thing.
that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Very British kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. What action are you rolling?
I would say wreck. So
Jesus.
my question, you said that there's a hole in the hull. Can I fit inside that thing? Is it big enough? Or?
No.
So I would just put my bust through it.
Yeah, you're a big guy. You need someone like a 5'5" person like me to fit into this hull. But you're big. Tough one's big
I'll
one.
probably tear it more open as I enter it.
Jesus. We'll see. You still have to make the roll. Wreck, you so your precision's still gonna be risky, I'd say, but coupled with the rage essence, the strength, and the red coat's like assistance, it's gonna be great effect for sure.
So it's risky?
Yeah, risky great.
Risky risky.
You're trying to get through a hull. It's
No bonus die.
you can still push yourself or take a devil's bargain.
Yeah, devil's bargain. If you got
Okay.
something for me.
You are going to be put in a desperate position after this because basically your position and change of scenery is gonna like change, for sure. Because the thing is like even if like you get a success on this, you're not gonna like finish off the hull, but you're gonna be put in this position.
So one bonus die for that risky positioning. Submit.
Ooh, that's a 5.
5-2.
That's still good. It's still a success. So, there we go. Okay. I think you do tear your way through the hull. Oh yeah, with a wrecking bar, and I think that you're kind of like squeezing through it. It's slower going than you thought, but you're just like, and so you are like, yeah, kind of like stuck in the middle of this hull when it starts kind of like wailing again, but this time it's like this like horrible this horrible death rattle, and then it starts to jump up to the second floor and is scrambling away from the first floor, away from Redcoat. Oh no.
Where's the hole located? Is it on the side, in the leg?
It's in the side, like it's in like through his chest, and you're through that hole now.
I imagine like he's like atop it, like kind of like pry bar like lodged into it as it like just like leaps straight up into the air. Redcoat's like, shit.
Yeah, as it's climbing up. I think Amison, you just barely you go through the window and barely this like gigantic hull kind of like screams past towards you as it's heading up, as it's tearing through the house, heading up towards the 4th floor.
Huh. Tough one seems to be handling things, I guess.
The tough one is in a rage as it's going, ah! We'll come back to the tough one in a moment, but Redcoat, yeah, how are you doing? How are you doing, pal?
Well, I didn't expect that.
Raven Doctor's still there if you want to talk to someone.
Doc, how do we stop this?
Oh, we can blow up the machine, but she's up there. Maybe stop her. I'm going at the machine.
Okay,
I
would like to. He's got this. I would like to hunt for the Nightingale.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hunt. It's gonna be risky standard, I'd say. You're in her house. That's where the risk is. You don't know what else she has.
I'd like to push myself.
Okay.
And that's it, isn't it? That's all I can really do for.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Unless the doctor is helping you, but they might not have stress to spare.
I'm pretty busy with the machine, I'm afraid.
I guess it could be helping me through some of the intel that you got from when you found out about Kellis' house.
But the thing is, like, they would still have to spend the stress.
Oh yes, I meant more if you. Yeah, sorry, I wasn't sure if you were fictionally saying it doesn't make sense or mechanically.
I think I don't want to spend the stress.
No,
sorry,
makes sense. No problem.
Maybe
No
Emerson can help you because he's there as well, right?
Cool.
Yeah, what are you trying to do again here?
Find the Nightingale.
Yeah, I think that Amison can definitely help with that. After all, they were just kind of spotting from across the rooftop before swinging over. So perhaps they were have some intel that they can share here.
The two of you
could shout it down the hole. Like, you know, the big
Yeah,
hole that's been left by the hole, you can be like...
Yeah, I kind of like, I kind of think like from what Leander described, I am just dangling below that hole right now. So I just kind of shout up what I saw.
Redcoat runs past like, Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
This is all going horribly sideways. Yeah.
You're making good progress. You're filling up the clocks that need to be filled.
I know, I love it. Cool. So that's 2 bonus dice then. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And
hunt away, risky standard. Oh my god!
Terrible.
For those who's watching, We'll roll 3 ones.
Worst dice roll I have ever seen in Forging the Dark.
Yeah. So I think you are stalking. Oh my gosh. That's fine.
I kind of imagine it as like sort of that, like cleaning rooms kind of thing, like a SWAT team almost, like a one-man kind of like kicking doors down and like just, obviously it happens to be the right route to go to whatever, but it's going to put me in a horrible place, I think, right?
Oh yeah, I think you burst through this door. I think you've gone up to the 4th floor, and you were in this like rather wide-looking office space. There's bookshelves to your left and right. There's like a big desk. Actually, no. There's bookshelves to your right, and to your left is where the machinery is. That's kind of like protruding out, and you can see there's like levers and gears where it is, and there's a big ass window in front of you. And when you were walking up, the curtains were closed, but now the curtains are open, and you can see most of Duskwall. You can't see White Crown because White Crown's behind you, but you're seeing Duskwall, and you're seeing this figure kind of like looking out. She is like a lot smaller than you expected, Redcoat. She's about same height as your friend the Magpie, for sure. And as you kind of like burst in, she looks tiny. Like, really? Is this Nightingale? And then
I know the Magpie, so I know that you can't underestimate the small ones.
Exactly, because what happens is she clicks her fingers, and these galvanic force just kind of like hits you from like 2 sides. And you are... I'm not gonna make you take harm at the moment. You're gonna be put in a desperate position because I think you're gonna be forced down to your knees almost.
Are you sure? I feel like a 1 is a harm and a desperate position.
All right. Okay. Level 1 harm. Sure. Why not? Electrocuted, which probably should be worse, but do you want to resist either of those? You need to resist separately the desperate position and the harm.
Fine with the desperate position. Can I expend an armor to deal with the harm?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That means expending that means you can't use armor for the rest of this session. But hey.
Well, unless I take heavy, but yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're kind of like forced to your knees by the force of the energy, and the Nightingale just kind of like sighs. It's just you. I had this window here. Why go through the front door, Mr. Redcoat, sir? There's this perfectly nice window you could just gone through. You went through the front door. You went through my office door. Subtlety's lost on you heroes, aren't you?
And I think that Redcoat, pushes himself up under the force of the electricity that sparks off his arm, like the armor of the Redcoat. Like the plates sewn into the jacket and the metal helmet. And you can see behind the Nightingale is the smoke of Char Hollow, like rising up over the horizon. He says, "You'll never get away with this, Nightingale. Your wings are clipped."
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, that's lovely. Keep talking. Mr. Redcoat, keep talking, please.
I don't keep talking. I'm two-fisted justice. I go, as soon as I'm overcome the thing, I'll go straight for her.
I think she turns around, and she is young, and she's a young, beautiful, rich person. There is shades of when you knew Magpie, but she's got this petty, horrible, childish glee seeing you here. As she kind of bounds up to you and she just says, "The thing is, Mr. Redcoat, once I'm done, whatever world that I would never have gotten away with, whatever this is, with this plan, it won't exist anymore. It's going to be something new, something different. By the time I'm done, well, we'll have to find new definitions for things. The thing with picking up crime as a hobby in Mr. Redcoat is that I thought it would keep me distracted, but it's just like any other hobby. It just gets so boring. So it just becomes ledgers and accounts and profit. God, that's so dull. Why don't we start over? Don't you want to start over? You can't tell me this is how things should be.
Never going to build a bad day on the bodies of the people of this city. And I'll stop you. I mean,
I think
how much longer should we, square off superhero style? Oh, because
Yeah.
I feel like I was restrained by the electrics at that point, but we can cut away to maybe the point where Redcoat like breaks free of the electric bonds.
I want to cut away to your teammates first, and then maybe
that's
their
what I mean. Like
actions.
we cut away at that point, like because I spent my armor right to resist that consequence. So
Yes.
you know.
Yeah. You're still gonna be in a desperate position because you don't know what shell's left in her office. But yeah,
I want to be. Yeah.
hell yeah. All right, I'm gonna go to Amison. I didn't expect you to be dangling off that hole, but there you go.
Oh, I thought that's what you described. Okay.
No, it's fine. Yeah, no, I'm fine. It's a funny image. All right, you've helped Redcoat. Somewhere up top, the tough one is screaming, trying to beat up this hull. Somewhere down below.
I mean, she did draw quite a lot of attention to that. There's a window right here that you could have just come in through. I kind of want to climb up to that window then.
All right. Okay. I think it's gonna be an action roll to get you to that window.
Yeah, I think Prowl probably.
Hell
You
yeah.
still have the line launcher, which is the perfect moment to swing in for a window, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is gonna be risky with the line. I think it would have been limited if not for the line launcher, because you're kind of like you're like 2 floors away, and swinging from it would have been difficult, but you have the line launcher, so it's gonna be risky standard, I'd say. It would have been limited without the launcher. Do you want to push yourself or take a bargain?
Yeah, I'll push myself here.
Okay. Jesus, 3 1s. That's
Risky
amazing.
Standard.
It's 5. Okay, all right. So what does it look like when you burst through the window?
I think like I come crashing in and like, I think that I come crashing in and kind of roll partly on purpose, and end up on my feet. But I think that like, I forget what's the name of this person again.
The Nightingale.
Yeah, right. I think the Nightingale like it gets like taken by surprise by this for just like a brief moment, setting up the Redcoat.
Yeah. Although you did roll a 5, so
Yeah,
I think here's the consequence. I think like she's surprised, and then I like, oh, I'm so glad
and
someone
then she
went to the-
realizes it's Amazon. She can just like calm down.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, I was really hoping if anyone's gonna take the window route, it would be you. And I think you hear a gunshot from behind you, from away from another building, and a bullet just whizzes past your cheek, and smashes to another floor, and I think she just kind of like smiles behind her mother, says, I mean, I basically advertised it as a weak spot, didn't I? Come on. Also, did you really think all I have is like a hull to protect me? You move one moment there, you and your feline friend, who might not be there, who knows, you can declare that you've set off Stripey in a flashback. But I think she absolutely thinks your feline friend is on you. Mr. Cat, oh no, the cat, sorry, not Mr., because they them. Cat, Amison, whatever. If you move 1 inch, my sniper over there is gonna just end you, you know. So why don't you just stay there? Her back is turned to Redcoat. The consequence, you're gonna be in a desperate position, Emerson.
Yeah,
just
that's fair.
okay. But yeah, I could set up Redcoat for something. But before we get to that, I'm gonna go to the tough one. You're on the roof. The hull has smashed through the roof, and you're kind of like on top. In fact, for the people in the office, you can hear a pounding and a yelling from above you. And Nightingale's going, it's like, oh, they're making quite a ruckus, aren't they? And how are you doing? Oh yeah, you get hit by consequences for taking on that rage essence. Let's see. The first one, I'll remind y'all how harm works. They're detrimental to you to an action that they would affect. But you can still resist these. But you need to resist them separately. So
Should I write them down in harm then?
yes, I think they're 2 level 1 harms.
Yep. Okay.
Do you want to resist taking any one of them?
I mean, once I got them, I got them. That's right.
Yeah, but you can still. It says here you may resist these as usual, because whenever you suffer a consequence, whether it's because of a bad roll or because of a item you ingest, you can always resist the consequence.
Okay, but I still write them down. I mean, at this point, I don't think I got friends close to me, so I'm not too concerned about that. And can't stop until they're all broken. I'm on my way to breaking things, so
okay,
I'm fine with that.
That's fair. Yeah, I guess that consequence is like detrimental if you're like sneaking into a place, but you're kind of wrecking this place.
So
yeah, you're kind of like in the middle of this hull, and this hull is kind of like waving around, trying to like rip you out.
I think what's gonna happen is that we're on the roof.
Yes.
The hull manages to pull me out, but I sort of managed to push away the fingers. I jump on whatever is its head, on its shoulder, with the head between my legs, and then I'm gonna pull on the leg. And what I want to do is not so much as it's trying to reach me, so I stop tearing on its neck. It's gonna lose its balance. I want to make it lose its balance and fall from the roof.
Oh, off the building?
Yeah.
Into the street? All right, fair enough. Hell yeah. What are you rolling? Let's do this.
Skirmish?
Hell yeah. You're still in the rage. So I'm going to say this is going to be risky. Great. The risk isn't that you might not pull this off. The risk is that you're on the roof. You know?
Yep. Would you have a devil's bargain for that?
Yeah. 2 more ticks on that Twilight of the Heroes clock.
How do people feel about that? Okay, let's go. Effect, it's great, limited.
Yes, great.
Submit. 1 bonus dice.
That's a 5. Success. Yeah, I think you rip off the head, and it's actuators are like, but I think as it's teetering off, it grabs you and kind of like smashes you through the roof, probably near her office. How did that happen? And it's gonna teeter. Yeah, it's gonna fall, and yeah, the big hull is now down as it crashes. With a big splat. Let me just mark it here. X. There we go. There in the street. In the map. But yeah, you're gonna be crashed through like you're gonna crash through the roof. So that's gonna be that would have been level 1 harm, but since you have 2 of them, they're gonna bump up to level 2 harm. Do you want to resist that? You're muted.
Can I use armor against
Yeah.
that?
Yes, absolutely.
So that's 2 you said. So does that mean I need armor and heavy armor as well?
No. That means that you've used up your armor for this session. If you want to resist anything else that with armor, you need to mark off heavy. But yeah, you have to resist that harm. And I think when you like get smashed through, I've changed my mind. It won't be at her office because it'll kind of be next to her office. I think you smashed through like her bedroom,
Okay.
which is actually quite bare. Like she's stripped it away of like stuff. Here's what you see in her bedroom. There are wanted poster drawings of every single person who has been in the Twilight Patrol, from Redcoat to Raven to the Raven Doctor to the other folks who aren't here, like the Mad Pie and the Widow and Amarani the Slide, and yourself as well, a tough one, and Amison as well. There's like there's a conspiracy wall, and there's like the operations, what she's been planning, but your faces have kind of been like X'd out with like sharp claws. I think here's where I kind of just give you the gist of what she's planning as we kind of like intercut with Amison and Redcoat in desperate positions, Silas working machine. Well, I think you can kind of guess what she's planning. She's going to use the hulls she sold to the criminal gangs to wipe out the criminal gangs. That's her big plot. That's why she keeps saying heroes will be obsolete, because she would have done your job. I think we could cut to her like saying, yeah, I'm trying to do your job for you because crime gets boring at some point, right? So at some point, you just get bored of selling demon snuff and trying to bolster hulls. And
you're mad if you can do that without killing the people of this city.
How do you think this city was built, Mr. Redcoat? You
On
can't.
blood and bone, and it won't be anymore.
Then why bother protect it if it's already made from blood and bone? Why not just tear it down and start from scratch, Mr. Redcoat?
You're insane.
The defense of those who have nothing to say. I have nothing to say to you. We can just sit here and
let's break things. Like we've had our repartee in any case.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Can
whichever
I
character.
do something?
Yes, that was.
Yeah, we'll cut to Silas first. I think as this kind of intercut as she's explaining her master plan. Silas, what are you up to with this machine?
Yeah, well, I want to strengthen the ghosts so they can get out, because it's not all right that they are captured inside of it, and I want to free them, I guess. That's basically my goal. Here, I still have my lightning hook. Yeah, I don't know where the others are, so blowing up the machine, I don't know. I mean, I might blow them up as well. I don't want that. I kind of like them.
You're going at it in a fight with a finer set of implements than a bomb, which is nice.
Yeah. I mean, the bomb. I think it's a bomb. I mean, I like the idea of blowing up the machine with a bomb, but well, they're all upstairs, right?
It's the only way. It's the only thing that will work. The bomb is the only way to make this happen. So
that's true. So I will attune myself to the machine and figure out where to put the bomb.
Okay, hell yeah, I like this. I like this a lot.
Because we have the bomb. Come on.
Yeah. All right. This is gonna be with your fine lighting hook. You're still at risky great.
Cool.
Do you want a devil's bargain?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Devil's bargain.
The devil's bargain is that the Nightingale will become aware of what you're doing. The machine, you're going to be put in a desperate position as well. Everyone's going to be in a desperate position.
Yeah, I always wanted to be in a desperate position. That's lovely. I mean, I'm sorry, this is awful, but I have to do it for the city. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That was not that I'm risky, and my effect is great. Nice. Okay, and I get an extra die. Come here, and let's see how that goes. Oh, still a 4.
Still
Okay.
4. 4 is still
It's
pretty
not
good.
great, but yeah.
All right, you're 2 ticks away from the Nightingale song being disrupted. I think, you speak to the ghost, and they're being they're being forced into this machine, and they're gonna be. I think you get like the sense. This is like parallel to Alex seeing the plans, to the Nightingale ranting, and you seeing that like how this is happening. She's using this machine to like pump in the ghosts and then spread them out. It's a larger scale version of what you saw at Skurlock's ship. It's gonna go to like every hull that she sold throughout the city. It's gonna activate them and like cause havoc, and yes, kill a lot of people. So you'll get that sense. But yeah, I did say put you in a desperate position. I think you feel a tug on your spirit, on your incorporeal soul. You feel yourself being tugged, and I think back at the office, the machine sparks and kind of like lets out this like whiny kind of whistling, and the Nightingale's just like, oh, I suppose that's Lord Skurlock's boyfriend up to his tricks.
And Redcoat would like to wreck that machine.
But does the bomb go off?
I think because of the success, you will have you've inserted the bomb. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna give you a moment to like before.
Well, I was thinking we've got the Nightingale song clock to fill up, right? And
You're
clearly
2
when
ticks
that
away.
clearly when that fills up is when the bomb goes off, like a boom. So who should take a turn at this point?
Redcoat. I think we finally come back to you.
Yes. Then I would like to, as she says that, say like, no, it's not Skurlock's boyfriend. That's the Raven Doctor to you, and smash the machine. And my hope is that sets off like the cascade that like explodes the thing, blah blah blah, etc.
Yeah. All right. What are you rolling? What's the action?
I think it is wreck again.
You're in a desperate position. I'm gonna say it is a desperate standard. Amison, are you helping?
I mean, did my being there, like, because I was trying to provide like a setup action to Redcoat.
Yes, then that'll be great then, because the effect will be great because the Nightingale is like sufficiently distracted by 5 different things, even though she looks like she can handle it because she's she is who she is.
If that's what Emerson is doing, can my meddling with the machine help Redcoat?
As an assist? Yeah.
As an assist, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I'm spending the stress here because this is it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, and can I
great.
myself?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. 5.
Oh, hey, you still feel it. That's the important thing. You still feel it in Mark XP, since you're in a desperate position. Okay, I think, yes, this is kind of like the climax of this. So I'm going to ask each of you to like detail what your character is like doing as this machine gets smashed and it reacts with the bomb and the bomb explodes. I kind of want to see what the 3 of you are like doing to like get out as this house kind of like is gonna explode. Clearly, I think there's like enough moments when the cascading of the machine happens. Nightingale is just kind of like oh, I didn't expect that. So it's less of a and more like a huh.
Can I suggest that like I break the thing and it explodes, and then like the lightning all flares up and the bomb goes off and poof, and the whole building shakes and it all just like full on explosions. And I'm happy with Redcoat being utterly shrouded in explosions and things, like it's chaos kind of stuff.
Jesus. Yeah. How's the tough one and
So So I think as the building. So are you saying we need to get out of the building, or we die, or do
No,
we
you're gonna get out of the
just-
building. I'm not gonna kill you off here. You finish. You accomplish it. So I want to see what it looks like when you're getting out of this building as it explodes.
Okay. So I guess I'll go last then, because I got a little idea. I think it will be a nice comedic coma.
Okay. Amison, Raven Doctor.
I mean, Amison still has this grapple. I think that they kind of, as things start exploding, like they like manage to fumble with it and grapple with it to safety.
Nice. No one's gonna. Everyone's just gonna leave the Nightingale behind. Oh, that's cool. Raven Doctor, you feel that tugging from your soul. Let go. And I think the ghosts are kind of like, hell yes, hell yes. Well, not in those words, but kind of like.
Yeah, well, I feel like I kind of leaned a bit into even the tugging at my soul, just to give a little push into the machine so that Redcoat would kind of know where to hit it. And then, then it lets me go. And then I'm kind of standing in front of the bomb. And I think running away with a twisted ankle might be a bit tricky here. So what I'm going to do is, I can still have a bit of load left, so I will activate an armor. So my greatcoat, it's really made of leather, and I will draw the ghost, ask the ghost to come to me, to help me. Not die, basically.
Oh, no, we're not going to make you roll for all these. I just wanted these images as you get out of the house, as it explodes.
Yeah, so I guess basically Silas is hobbling or limping out of the house, or maybe striding slowly because, and leaning a bit on his lightning hook. But yeah, and there's a lot of ghostly light out around him, because otherwise he wouldn't have survived that.
Yeah, I will say this is going to lead up to like a hero shot of like hopefully all four of you together. But yeah, Alec, how do you get out?
So I assume the rest of the group is like, oh no, the strong one is still in the building, and there's an explosion which is kind of on the upper floor, and you see something projected from that upper floor. It looks much larger than a human being, and just landing at the feet of the rest of the group, you got this massive bed which lands mattress side up with the big one sprawled on it, and there are burning pages of Wanted, posters of Wanted floating around him in the fire, and he's he's like, what happened? What is it? Destroy.
I think at this point the rage essence is like fading off, and I think the house like explodes. It's like but I think the fire and explosion kind of gets like suddenly overwhelmed by this sudden profusion of ghosts that have been freed. This is the third giant beacon of ghosts that this group has created in this whole quarterly. Amazing. As they kind of like circle out, and I think like the blue coats come in. But it's led by Inspector Mara. And yeah, I think all four, or Redcoat. Go ahead.
Can I say that in the rubble, as Inspector Mara drags the Nightingale out in handcuffs from the ruins?
Yeah, she had a panic room on the floor of the office this whole time, so she was fine.
You can just see the tattered remains of a redcoat, like the sleeve of a redcoat tattered in the rubble. And who knows what happened to Redcoat?
Oh man, so yeah, we get this like shot of the Nightingale babbling kind of like to herself as she's dragged up by Inspector Mara. She's just going, idiots, you idiots, you idiots, you idiots, you idiots. And yeah, she had a panic room, so she was fine. tucked into it. There's like a big solid metal box amongst the rubble. And yeah, but I think, yeah, you've done it. You've done it. You gosh darn done the deed. So what I'm gonna ask is, let's frame some epilogues. And again, we don't have to jump forward too much because we might come back to these characters, to this city in the future, maybe, who knows. But yeah, let's just jump. Yeah, like the end of the trade paperback, the last 4 pages, kind of like, sorry, we're jumping mediums again. I'm sorry. No, this is Batman the Animated Series now. What's kind of like, where do we see each of these characters? What's like the hint of them when we see them? I assume Redcoat will probably go last since he's all mysterious, if that's okay with folks.
I think you see...
Go ahead.
I think we see a few shots getting closer to whatever are Alex quarters nowadays, and he's busy. You don't really see immediately what he's working on, but when he moves a bit, it reveals that he's fixing the bed, which saves him. This is good and sturdy bed. Good for me, so gonna keep that as memory. So he's just fixing the bed. It's it seems sturdy, but it's a bit ramshackle of some kind. But it's fixing, and there's still corners of the mattress which is slightly burnt with a spring popping out. So he's kind of fixing that too.
Can I add a detail to that?
Oh yeah.
I think someone knocks at the door, and you hear Elsie's voice just go, "Hey, Alec, we need to talk. Where did you get that bed?"
Well, found it in the street. It's good. It's sturdy. Needs being fixed, but
it has burn marks around it.
Yeah, but I got scars. Doesn't mean cannot be fixed.
I think she gives you a look. It's like, scars, huh? Do you, can I see them? Sorry, Will. Yes, it is going to get a bit more risque.
The tough one, as Elsie closes the door, the tough one jumps on the bed.
Okay, cool. So let's adorn the tough one for the moment. What about Amison or Silas?
I mean, I think what we see is it's a nice little, I think it's a restaurant basically with niches and where you can sit and drink wine or whatever else you would like, what kind of beverage. And I think we see Silas sitting there with a glass of wine, and there is somebody in the shadows on the other half of the niche. And Silas is explaining basically some kind of thing, why a ghost and a raven, what characteristics they share, and how both are related to writing desks.
Your audience is shaking their heads. It's like, yeah, sure, okay, writing desks, sure, why not? God. What do we see of Amison?
Yeah, I think Amison is like has a brand new shotgun, and they're writing a letter like, "Happy birthday, sis. Love, Amison. P.S. Please don't shoot me with this one."
I think you get a reply, and she keeps a tally of who's won the last time you encountered each other. You're doing way better than you thought, I'd say, in this tally she has. If that's okay to add.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. And Redcoat.
I think you see Inspector Mara sit down at a table across a figure in the darkness and say, like slide something over, and the hand reaches out, and the figure comes into light, and it's Hella Inwick, the rookie, and she accepts a mission from Inspector Castor to be her agent and help tidy up the people of Duskwall. And there's like the tattered remains of the red coat in the package,
I mean, Inspector Mara, because you said Inspector Casta, and I got like, what?
Inspector Mara. I meant, yeah.
Well, another twist on top of another twist.
She was an inspector undercover the entire time. Yeah.
Fandom sees and they're like, what? That makes no sense.
Yeah. But basically, Nightwing, Redcoat's Nightwing is now in the place.
Yeah. So I think we see all that. And can I add a stinger? I think we get a shot of someone throwing a newspaper on top of a desk. And newspaper says, Twilight Patrol, breaks up Nightingale, stops the Nightingale song or something like that, something melodramatic. And you hear a person sigh in this shot. And Lord Skurlock says, I had high hopes for that one. Oh, well. And he pulls out from a writing desk like a bunch of like files and clippings, and he just says, well, I've still got a few more bets to cash in, I suppose. And yeah, I think we'll just leave that there. Maybe if we come back to this. Still a lot to be settled in the city of ours called Duskwall. But yeah, that's but for now, that's a wrap on Blades in the Dark, Vigilantes of Duskwall. Whew! We got there. Thanks very much, folks. That was a lot of action, a lot of drama, humor, comedy, all the fun stuff.
Romance.
Romance at the end there, which is great.
And piss.
And Jesus Christ. All right, we'll do a big debrief after this, but once I stop recording. But yeah, thanks very much, folks. That was lovely. Shout outs to every person who has played in this run of Blades, to Jim Crocker for the Midnight Magpie, without whom the Nightingale wouldn't exist. To David Morrison for their Muriel Margoyle Spider, which is just great. It's amazing. What if a Brindlewood Bay PC was like a criminal mastermind? That's amazing. Shout outs to Daniel as well for coming in with Amrani, the slide, and helping us beat the crap out of the crows. That was great. It was lovely. And of course to Sabine, to Kalum, to Stephen, and to Will. Will mostly for kicking this whole thing off. We got here after all this time. Oh, and to Stephen Humphreys as well, who romanced a ghost. Tried to romance a ghost and help set up a charity. That was lovely. But yeah, I'm gonna stop this recording. Bye YouTube.